This will change how you're learning dancing forever. Like, these tips help my clients go from avoiding the dance floor, feeling uncomfortable, to being able to feel great dancing at any party. The first thing that I see beginners do a lot, and hey, I did that as well when I was learning because no one told me not to, is learning the movements that look great but that are too hard for you at your learning stage. So how many times you try to learn a move, for example on YouTube, because you like the way it looks on another person, but then you try it and no matter how much you practice, you look at yourself dancing and you're like, okay, it doesn't look anything like what I'm seeing on screen or like on the teacher. And the reason why it happens is because, you know, the body has to be prepared for doing those more advanced, challenging movements. Usually the complex moves look best. So that's why we want to learn it. But if you're not prepared for the moves like that, if you don't have coordination, body control, it doesn't matter how much you practice, those movements, you're not going to be happy with the way they look on you. There's always a specific order in which we should learn the movements. So if you think about a complex move where we move the feet, the hips, the torso, the arms, there's just a lot going on. If you don't have coordination, attempting to move everything at once will feel like a struggle, right? It will always take way too much effort. And the idea is that when we're on the dance floor, we're doing the movement, it looks effortless, like we can do it in our sleep, right? And how are you supposed to move those different body parts without overthinking it, without looking like you're focusing on what you're doing? It's not going to happen. Only if you have coordination, those movements will be seamless. It won't take a lot of thinking to do them. They will go on autopilot. So let's leave those moves such as like a body roll or some complex footwork for later, and let's start with the movements that actually will help you build your coordination. What do I mean by starting with something simple? Usually footwork is the easiest for you to do. So let's say you can start with the feet, right? This is just an example of a step. Only once you can do it with rhythm, only once you can get it to the point where you can do it without thinking about it, then start adding like just one more layer to it. So you gradually challenge your coordination. So for example, to this one, I can add the upper body twist without moving the hips with it, without moving the arms, without doing everything all at once. You can do that and you will be able to do that once you're coordinated. Number two, learning different dance style, something that is not applicable in social casual dance situations. For example, if you're learning dance that's choreographed, those movements, when we have like a routine to a specific song, they are usually very expressive, very big, exaggerated. You're not going to do that on the dance floor, right? Not only that, I have a lot of beginners tell me that, you know, I've been taking those classes, those group classes, choreography classes for months, for years, even some people. And they say, when I'm supposed to dance at a party and just casually freestyle with others on the dance floor, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to even pick those choreographed moves apart, how to use them, how to connect them, how to match them to the music. Learning choreography will never improve your ability to freestyle, ever. Those are two completely different styles. So don't waste your time memorizing dance routines if your goal is to just be able to enjoy yourself dancing next time you go out. It's just not going to help. Two completely different things. Also, if you're learning a specific dance style, such as salsa, and you're expecting that this will help you learn or dance better to like popular songs when you're at a party, one has nothing to do with the other. So it's not going to help you improve just your freestyle skills to Western music, let's say, right? So it's like me saying that, okay, I want to be very good at playing guitar. Like I want to be able to play my favorite songs on guitar. So I go and take piano lessons. I mean, both are instruments. Same thing with salsa and just freestyle party dancing. Both are dance styles. One has nothing to do with the other. Number three is learning all kinds of separate dance moves and expecting that you will know how to use them on the dance floor, how to connect them, how to transition between them. If you lack the ability to freestyle, to improvise, you will have the moves, separate moves, but you won't know what to do with them. So having the freestyle skills means that you can match the movements to different songs on the spot without thinking about it, what movements to use when. You can respond to like different changes in the song, doing those types of movements to the chorus versus the verse, you know, so accentuating whatever is happening in the song. Then you also have to know how to immediately know how to go from one movement to the next without losing the beat, without making the movements look all crazy. It's more than just moves that we need when the goal is for us to be able to dance at a party. If you think about it, you're on the dance floor, the song starts playing. Yeah, you have to know what moves to do in a matter of split seconds, because the song starts playing, you have to know how to move to it, but you also have to know how to match them correctly to the beat or to the song. You have to know how to move different body parts at the same time, how to make it look good, because if you notice, like people usually move 3-4 different body parts all at once to make the movements look good. So you have to know how to do that. You have to know how to transition from one step to the next. So again, there's more into dancing than just knowing individual dance moves. So it's kind of like me wanting to have a conversation with someone in Spanish, but I only know hola, like what's gonna happen? How they're gonna carry on the conversation? How am I gonna? So it's the same thing with moves. It's just like a piece of something, but to be able to dance at a party, you have to know how to freestyle, and that includes all the other skills, right? So the skills specific to dancing in social situations, if you want to feel comfortable on the dance floor, you have to know how to freestyle. Number 4, this one is a good one. Practicing only when you feel like it, when you feel inspired to dance, not going to help you improve. Dancing is just like sports. You have to be consistent and practicing. You have to almost like do little drills, like little practice sessions. Because we have to build muscle movement memory. The movements have to be repeated enough times for the body to internalize them before we even make them look natural. It's literally hundreds of reps, what scientists say. It ranges from, I think, 500 to like 20,000. The 20,000 option is a little scary. But anyway, you have to repeat the movements to build those mind-body connections, muscle connections, and there's no way around that. Like, you have to practice. Even when you see like those people who dance so seamlessly at a party, they can move, they look great, and you're like, how the hell are they doing it? They must be born with it. No, we're not. Even if somebody has a talent for dancing, it still takes a crap ton of practice to get the movements, to get the skills, to smooth out transitions, to build coordination. Coordination is not a talent, by the way. Nobody's born coordinated. You have to develop those mind-body connections. It takes work. So if it was true that natural born dancers don't have to practice, why the hell did I spend 10 years working on my dance skills and practicing every single day for hours? It doesn't work like that. Everyone has to put in the work. And we need the repetition of the movements so that we can build muscle movement memory that's required for us to later be able to do those movements and make them look natural. Then it will take very little effort to dance, to move, because your brain will kind of do it for you. So what I want you to do right now is literally schedule practice days in your calendar for the following week. I recommend starting with 3, right? Because in the beginning, it does take a little bit more effort to build the skills, especially if you're starting from scratch, and literally start with what you know right now. Like whatever tutorials speak to you, where I'm teaching the basics, so choose the basic beginner tutorials, start there, but make it consistent. If you keep it like that for a month, it will become a habit, and then you will continue to just do it. It will feel much easier. In the beginning, it's not so easy to kind of force yourself to practice, but trust me, you'll get to the point where you'll start seeing those little results here and there, and then practicing dancing will be just much easier because you will feel very motivated to improve. And number 5 is learning without feedback. So especially when you're just starting out as a complete beginner, and we all do it, I started learning by myself as well, it's very hard to build the skills and see progress if you don't know what you're doing. And I'm sure you've seen it before, like you're trying to learn, for example, with a tutorial, but let's say you struggle with rhythm, you don't have coordination, you're learning the movements. Not only you won't know if you're doing them correctly, but you also might wonder, how do I make them look better? Or how do I even use them to a different song, a song that's not in the tutorial, but just a random song? You don't want to be practicing something and creating those bad habits, because then they're kind of hard to unlearn and it just will slow down your learning process. And mind you, this applies only to like absolute beginners. If you already have the skills, yeah, YouTube tutorials are fine. You will be able to learn the movements, kind of teach yourself the movements, assess yourself correctly, and then use those moves when you dance. But I'm only saying those of you who don't know how to practice or how to dance at all, you're just starting out. I would always recommend, because this is also how I learned, find a professional, somebody who will help you, who will guide you through the process, who will assess everything you're doing every step of the way. This is just a much more efficient and effective way of learning. learning. Trust me. Like, I spent so much time doing this by myself, but after a while I was like, okay, I'm not getting the results that I was hoping for. And the danger here is that you might be that person who is not seeing results after months of practicing by yourself, and eventually you will give up. Like, eventually you'll be like, okay, dancing is maybe not for me. Yes, it is. Like, everyone can learn how to dance, but it's just so much easier and more productive if you have help. So I definitely recommend, like, look around in your area for teachers, for especially private lessons where you get that one-on-one attention. Of course, you can always reach out to me. I help adults in my online program who either tried learning with all kinds of methods, they tried by themselves, classes, different styles, nothing helped, and I'm able to kind of take them through the entire process A to Z, from a person who doesn't know what the heck they're doing on the dance floor to somebody who's enjoying dancing and who has the skills, who looks good. So I will leave the link below to a free consultation with me. Let's see if we can work together. But like I said, don't try to kind of force it, and don't give up trying to learn something on your own. No one can do that by themselves. Like, I don't know anyone who learned how to dance by themselves. At some point you need help, right? So yeah, especially if you have a lot of dance issues. Not only, oh, I don't know what moves to do, but you struggle with rhythm, you look stiff dancing, you don't know how to transition between the movements, you don't know how to freestyle. Those are all fundamental skills that have to be built, and to build them, it does take a step-by-step, process, step-by-step instruction. I also don't recommend, like, asking a friend. We all have that friend who is a good dancer, and it's tempting to ask them to teach you, but remember that just because someone is a good dancer, it doesn't mean that they are a good dance teacher. So I don't know if that's very helpful. They might give you advice or instruction that won't be helpful at all. It will just make you more confused. So always better with a professional. And if you're the type of person who doesn't believe that it's possible for you to learn how to dance, maybe you tried many, many times, I want to tell you that it is possible. I literally have so many results of absolute beginners, some of them like terrified of the dance floor, who are now going out and dancing every single month. I have so many of them. I created like a separate channel on YouTube for them, so I will link it. You can definitely check it out. And be sure to watch this video next. This will help you learn and practice much, much better as well, so you don't waste so much time. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.